Hey everybody, this week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations. First, Jake recommended for me the YouTube channel from video game, journalist, video
YouTuber?
essayist, YouTuber, Noodle. Him talking about what it takes to make an indie game, and my recommendation for Jake, the new film Nightbitch, available to stream now on Hulu. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Switch 2. We're going to talk about how TikTok's shutting down, and we're going to talk about how Elon Musk sucks at video games. Jake, anything you want to add, buddy?
Man, that shelf right there fell down yesterday.
We're back at Jake's house, so it's a nice change of scenery. We'll get into it. Is there any rhyme or reason to the display of the physical media?
It used to be in alphabetical order until it fell down.
Oh, no. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name's Taylor Egger. With me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Rest in peace, David Lynch.
Rest in peace, David Lynch. That came on the Over the Wire about 2 minutes before we started recording.
Man, my favorite director. Dude.
76 years old?
78,
78 years old. Pretty good run. Pretty good run for a self-confessed chronic smoker.
Just an awesome dude. One of the best directors I've ever
Interesting
seen.
guy. You got to appreciate any artist that lives in their own oeuvre.
Man, it sucks.
Doing their own thing. Yeah,
it's okay.
Rest in peace. He had a good career. He will be remembered fondly.
That's true. Man, big sad, though.
Yeah, big sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what the podcast is about. Not just big sad things, but we recommend things to each other, and then we come back the next week, talk about them, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 3 based on how much it's up our individual alleys. Like we mentioned earlier, we're talking about the YouTuber Noodle, and we're talking about the movie Nightbitch. Jake, how you been, except for the David Lynch stuff?
I've been fine.
Yeah?
Been working out.
Still on it?
Still on it.
Yeah.
Sweated more than I have ever sweated before.
Oh, I brought something since we're at your house now, because you keep forgetting it at my house.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I see your PlayStation 3 there. Now you have a controller with which to charge your PlayStation controller.
Now we're talking. Cable.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Beautiful.
So, the shelf, is that crooked or am I sitting crookedly?
I pushed it back.
Okay.
Because it fell forward.
It's about a 7-foot tall DVD shelf?
Yeah. The cat must have pushed it over.
Alphabetical order makes more sense now.
Yeah. The cat must have pushed it over, right?
Right.
So I pushed it backwards so that way it won't fall forward at least.
Is it not mounted up against the wall?
No.
I guess not.
No. So I'm going to have to get some anchors for that bad boy.
You want me to bring over my new Ryobi tools?
No.
Why?
You want to know a fun thing?
Sure.
This sounds like a sitcom.
Uh-huh.
Got the landlord coming over.
Mm-hmm.
I just went over to lease. We are not allowed to have a cat.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
hide the cat.
It's like you can tell there's a cat that lives here.
It's very catty. Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
We're just going to text and be like, look, we got a cat.
Yeah. That's just the thing that happened.
He's very...
She's
very clean.
Most landlords will do a thing where you just have to put down like a little extra pet deposit or whatever.
That's
I know that happened last time I rented. We had 3 cats.
Yeah.
And landlord, after we got 1 cat, they were like, do we need deposit more money if we get more cats? They're like, no, it's just a pet deposit. We're like, sweet.
Yep.
Let's triple up
just
on
keep
cats.
Going.
We're going to get too many cats.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's the case.
It'll usually be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that,
things are good?
Things are good. How about yourself, buddy?
No complaints. Got a big weekend. I got to start prepping for it over there. I'm going to be up in Loudoun County slinging my wares.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. So let's get into some news that we've been following. First off, you didn't see it, but there is the official announcement for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
They're going to do their big Nintendo Direct about it on April 2nd. So the video for it just basically showed what everything had... It's been leaked for like 6 months now.
It's always been known that it's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. But like the specifics of it have been leaked by like third-party like add-on, I guess, manufacturers and things like that. It looks good. It's got a bigger screen. It's got magnetic Joy-Cons that clip onto the side instead of having to slide them in.
Looks like a Switch.
Yeah. Looks very similar to the original Switch.
That works for me.
Yeah, and then they teased
it's not going to fit in the original dock.
No.
So that part's a little upset.
But they did say it will play original Switch games, like the physical games as well.
But not all of them.
No,
I read that too.
No, it said any physical game for Switch, it'll still play.
It said not all of them.
Really?
What I read.
That's not what they said on their little official thing.
Well, their official thing is already a liar.
We'll find out more. But the most important thing is they do have, at Nintendo.com, you can sign up for an early hands-on experience for the Switch.
Yeah.
Which they have a limited thing. You have to sign up for it. It's in New York in April. I'm signing us up. I figure we can claim that we're video game podcasters. Got 14,000 subs on YouTube. There's got to
be enough.
I'm saying there are people that are going to apply to see the Switch with less subscribers than we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Man.
They're only doing it in North America. They're only doing New York, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Toronto.
Good. Cover the left, right, and center.
I guess. I would feel bad. I guess if you're in like Chicago, you can just go up to Toronto or something like that. But I don't know. I think it'd be really funny.
Up and down, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what they did. They looked at it on a map and they're like,
they're very efficient at Nintendo.
what is the square
exactly
for this?
But yeah, I think it'd be very fun if we actually get into that.
If we get that, I'm treating it
seriously.
Proper.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun. It's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday that they have it open at some place up in New York, and I'm like, all right, we can go up there.
Right.
We could write it off as a business expense.
1,600 words on it.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
I don't know. I feel like yes. It's probably like 5 pages. I would say 1,600, depending on how big of words you use.
Yeah.
We also got fun news that as of recording this, it could change by the time this comes out tomorrow. But it looks like we're going to lose all of our TikTok followers, so we can't bank on that for Nintendo clout.
Yeah,
which is fun.
Do we have a good TikTok follower?
It's decent. I don't post as much TikTok as I should. I've been focusing on YouTube, which my YouTube video about Landman got an uncopyright strike.
Yay!
So that's a plus, except for Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italians have a different copyright usage than we do, where you can't claim fair use for something. The Italians are just like, we don't care. You can't show
fair use. Yeah.
Which I guess there goes our whole Italian fan base, which is
off of your one video.
Yeah. I can't. So when you pull up like your analytics and stuff, it goes down to, like the top 10 regions, and ours are mostly English speaking. Like for that video, it's like 56% USA, and then it's like 15% Canada, and then it's like Ireland, Australia, Great Britain, places like that.
Weird.
Italy's not even on there, and but part of me's like, it's because they're copyright striking us, and they're not promoting us to the people that don't watch Landman or speak English. Which the finale of Landman I watched.
Yeah,
it was probably the third best out of 3 season finales that I watched. It was very underwhelming, but I will say this:
best?
No, third best out of the 3 that I watched. The finale of Creature Commandos was great. Sets up season 2 of Creature Commandos. Fun watching that.
I need to get back into that. Yeah.
Yes, you do. You also need to get into Skeleton Crew.
No.
I know you're not going to, but I will say this to anybody listening. I
love the discourse that I see online.
It's great.
It's a lot of people saying this is the best show, and a lot of people saying this is the worst show.
It's not the best. Andor's the best. But it might be the second best. I might have had more fun with... There's a werewolf pirate man, and Jude Law. No. He's a legit werewolf. You remember in episode 4 how there's the one like just werewolf in the cantina?
No.
You know Star Wars?
Yeah.
You remember Star Wars?
I know the cantina scene does.
Yeah, there's just one that's a werewolf man.
I don't like you either.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Ben Kenobi cuts off the arm of an Aqualish. We all remember this. His name was Ponda Baba.
Watch out. I wanted men.
You want to keep
be
going?
Be careful. You'll be dead.
Star Wars was real.
Star Wars was
anyway,
great.
Skeleton Crew, if you have kids, I got to say, Skeleton Crew is just fantastic. It was so much fun. It was like Star Wars Goonies. There wasn't any big like cameo at the end where it's like, oh, Luke Skywalker's here, or they CGI Princess Leia or something like that. There's nothing. There's a little owl alien. That's fun. And it's such a delight to be like, hey, you can make a good Star Wars thing. I don't know why you don't
Star
do
Wars people are getting good Star Wars stuff.
I don't understand why anyone's mad about it. Like, I think there is such a market
it's because I'm so tired.
No. I'm talking about the people that
don't like it?
That don't like it. That watched it and don't like it.
I don't know.
No. I get not watching it more than I get liking it or disliking it. I get just being like, I'm done with Star Wars. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people wouldn't like it. It's so nice and wholesome. And the kid actors that are in it, normally a kid actor who's a shitty actor just takes me right out of it.
No.
All these kids are great. It's just like they're a little bit younger than Goonies kids, but it's fun. It's just
Stranger
fun.
Things age?
Younger. They're like probably like 10, 12. I guess they're probably that age when Stranger Things started. Now all those kids are like 24 and still pretending that it just started 3 weeks ago or however Stranger Things works.
I have no clue. I watched the first episode of the second season and I was like, I'm out.
Was that the season with Sean Astin? I think it was.
I don't know. I watched the first episode of the first season.
I don't know. It was good. I will say that. But yeah, it's... What were we talking about? We were talking about,
Skeleton Crew.
No, before that, we were talking about TikTok. I think it's very hilarious that everyone immediately just goes to Red Note and Lemonade, which are both also owned by Chinese companies.
Yeah.
Really, just...
The videos that I'm seeing from Red Note are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're the best. Because they sent one to a Chinese guy saying, I think you're a Chinese spy. And he's got a cowboy hat on and he's pouring himself some whiskey. He's like... There are a lot of people around here that look like spies. Some of them drink your liquor. Some of them talk your talk, even your accent. This is awesome.
It's just great because I was reading that I'm not downloading the app. I don't know. I only had TikTok so I could put clips.
Children.
So I could put clips of this. But apparently, in the terms of service for Red Note, which isn't like just owned by a Chinese company, it's owned by the Chinese government. It says that your posts have to uphold communist values and everything like that. I'm like, oh, so you just like the American government didn't understand that if you want your kids not to do something and you tell them not to do something, it's going to push them more towards that. So the American government saying, hey, you're using this Chinese app. They're stealing your data. They're like, well, now I'm going to go to just a flat out communist app.
It's so good.
It's so funny and dumb.
I saw a meme with the Mac and Dennis when they're at the house and the Mac saying, why did you go to a communist app? It goes back to him saying, because I hate you.
It's very funny. I don't know what the youth's anger at Instagram and YouTube Shorts, because I do Instagram Reels and I do YouTube Shorts, which essentially is like the same
stuff.
I guess.
I remember when I stopped using Facebook is when other old people were using it.
Facebook's pretty much unusable for personal use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done. It's like they're not going to be on Blue Sky. You know, I'm on Blue Sky.
I'm on Blue Sky.
And the humor there is it's millennial. It's awful.
Yeah. I also like how certain people are calling it Blueski, which I think is even more fun.
They call them Blueskis.
On the Blueski.
They call them skeets when you
so
post.
It's all so dumb.
It's so old. It's old people stuff, which is fine by me. It feels good. Yeah. It's like a lathe, like a balm on my soul to see these things. But I'm also like, there's no reason people should hang out here.
What is your, when you're scrolling through like YouTube Shorts or whatever?
Yeah.
What does your brain rot background look like?
Japanese cooking.
Is it?
It's either long form Japanese cooking where it's dead silent other than the sound of cooking, or shorts of like this is the ingredients put together.
I'm talking about like when they do like the Reddit and it's just an AI voice telling something that they pulled off Reddit, and then there's just something nonsense going on in the background. Mine's switched, and I just noticed this because I'm more interested in what like. The cliche of it is it's like Subway Surfer or Minecraft parkour courses or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I don't watch anything like that.
Mine switched for a while where it was like culinary stuff. And now, just because of what I've been watching now, it's all woodworking.
Yeah.
So instead of like someone doing Subway Surfer, it's literally like someone intricately making like dovetail joints and like fitting wood together perfectly, which is so much more interesting than whatever the hell the AI nonsense is. So I'm not like, it makes me just want to get woodworking stuff instead of like whatever story's going on about like, oh, what was your first date, and then it's like some lie
talking over it.
And but it's just like the video in the background changed. It's beautiful.
I've never watched anything like that.
The joinery in the background of these horrible lies from Reddit with AI voiceover is just fantastic. I do love that. That's what's great.
I tried your drink, bud.
Oh, yeah, Liquid Death, Dr. Death.
It is very tasty, isn't it?
Right? It tastes like a good Dr. Pepper.
Tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm. Can you pass me my beverage from your couch?
Indeed.
I got the Sierra Nevada Hop Splash.
Here you are, bud.
I love it. So I need you to fill me in because this is something that I know very little about except for its hilarity, which is that Elon Musk is lying about video games.
Yes.
So if people don't know...
Caught again lying about video games, I'll have to say.
So I first knew that he was a liar about video games, which is he was on Joe Rogan last year, 2 years ago, whenever. It was like when Diablo 4 came out.
And he's like,
And he said that he's in top 10 in Diablo. And even Joe Rogan's like, are you really?
Yeah,
he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, oh, yeah. And I was just like, there's no way you're in the top 10.
The dedication that it takes for something like that.
Which there are people that stream games 12 hours a day, every day.
The people that are top 10 spend every day playing that game for hours.
It's not something like...
It's not just how smart you are, how clever you are with it.
Who's that?
How good you are. It is commitment. That's what you get top 10.
Right. Who's that smarmy prick that's good at chess?
Bobby Fischer?
No, he's a younger guy. He's got a weird name. He's very smarmy looking.
Bobette Fischer?
Oh, Bobette Fischer. You named it.
The smaller one?
Bobette King's Gambit. No, fuck. Magnus something. He's a European guy.
Yeah.
But he's young and he's smarmy. So he's like a chess prodigy. So I can get that he's so good at chess, he doesn't need to sit down and play chess 12 hours a day. He can just show up to a tournament and do it. But that's not how RPGs work.
Yeah,
you need to grind
out on chess to get...
Exactly.
A legendary king drop that gives you 12% range chance to get it over 2 squares.
Right. But I think that's what Elon Musk thinks video games are, that you could just be like a prodigy and just be super good at it.
The first time I was confused, because I don't play Diablo 4. I
played Diablo 4. Which is the new one. Path of Exile 2, which is apparently it's...
Which I might start playing because it does look very interesting.
It's like a more hardcore... Like, I saw the memes that were going around Reddit were like, this is the skill tree, and it looks bananas.
The skill tree is just like eye candy. You know?
Yeah.
You really just focus it on one side of it. That's
right. But the web that it branches off
looks really
of,
cool.
Like, I thought Skyrim was complex. This makes Skyrim look like you're flipping a coin, and that's the only choice you have to make.
A leak that I was interested in, that I think you might be interested in, I don't know. We'll find out right now after I say the word that it's been leaked, is that
that's how conversations work.
Is going to be remade.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, I am interested.
Still don't have Elder Scrolls 6 yet. That was
have Oblivion
12 years ago.
I already know I love Oblivion. It's probably my favorite one. I'd rather they remake Morrowind, but I love Oblivion.
Was Morrowind 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morrowind was before Oblivion.
Skyrim was the first Elder Scrolls game I played.
Yeah.
And then I tried to go back to Oblivion, and I couldn't. Like, I just couldn't go back.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oblivion's 100 times better.
We'll have to talk about Oblivion when we talk about Noodle, because I have questions about that too.
It's so...
No, so
Elon Musk.
Yes.
When I knew that he was
a liar,
just not as good at games, was when they asked him to throw up his Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll put this on. I'll drop some stuff if I want a lighter build."
Yeah,
and he was just carrying like so much useless crap.
He had
on
2
himself.
shields, and he was too heavy.
And it's like, you can play that and be like, this shouldn't be slow.
So essentially, he got on a stream, which I think it wasn't on Twitch. It was on X, right? He did an X stream for Path of Exile when he claimed that he was in the top 20 or in the top 10 Path of Exile, where he was level 97, I think, and a comparable guy at that level. And again, this is a game that you can't pay to win. You just have to grind it out. He was playing on a hardcore map or setting, whatever. So if you die, it's permadeath. Like if your character dies, you die.
Character.
Right.
Yeah.
So he claims he got up to this. Comparable people are playing this game constantly. While he's doing essentially other stuff, not just playing this video game.
Yeah.
So he gets on live and
you could just say that you play the game. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So why could people tell that he was lying about it? I think I wrote down the guy's Quinn69.
Yeah.
Of course it is on YouTube that broke it down.
One of the big things was the Chaos Orbs, right?
Which is a drop.
You'd have it's a very, very rare drop. You would have something that points it out more.
Yeah.
So that you pick it up. If you're a guy who's top 20.
So it's like one of the rarest things you can get. It's like an in-game currency to level up, something like that.
Yeah.
And he just walked by it and picked up random maps.
Yes.
That are like the base level shit.
All I know is that maps are fun.
But they're not even called maps anymore. They're called like waystones or something like that.
I can't remember that.
And he kept calling them map. And when he loaded up his character, there was a thing that said Elon's Maps.
Went into the map with a full inventory.
Yeah. Which you don't do. If people don't know games like this,
crazy.
When I was playing Diablo, when you're like, all right, I'm going to go into this dungeon and try to get all the loot that's in there, you pretty much walk in there with just your armor and your weapon.
Yeah.
And a couple heal items, maybe.
To take care of all of this.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
And he walks
to
in
sell it off or store it.
Essentially a full inventory into this dungeon.
So that stuff is like that's old man, just like crazy.
Well, or not old man, just someone that doesn't know. Like I would
It's
do
like
the same thing
somebody-
if I didn't know how to play the game.
Exactly. Well, no, because you'd be like, everybody would be like, you're going to a map to.
That's true.
to level up.
I picked it up on
shit
Diablo pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need space for this stuff. Oh, I like this stuff. I don't want to drop it, so I'll store it.
Right in the storage.
It's like taking 3 lefts to make a right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Good analogy.
You're gonna get there,
Yeah.
but everybody's gonna look at you and be like, this guy doesn't do
You're
this
doing this the worst way
ever.
possible for
Yeah.
someone that's supposed to be a super genius and like the smartest
Yeah.
man alive.
And this, when he starts complaining about the levels,
Yeah.
that's when it's like, you're the dumbest person.
So that was what.
That's you completely incompetent at what you're looking at.
And that's what Quinn pointed out. Is at one point he says, "My staff is only level 63," and it's like that's the best staff in the game. 63 is the minimum level you have to
The
be
level
at to
means
get that
nothing.
staff.
The level is more like an entry ticket.
It's the
to
prereq.
it.
You have to be
Yes.
level 63 to pick that staff
It's
up.
the stats. It's all those blue stats that you see
Yeah.
afterwards,
Which were
just
apparently
like Diablo.
Dope as shit.
Yeah, when you see Diablo, when something gold drops and you don't look at the level first, you look at all those cool blue stats that come with it.
Fire
crit chance,
resistance,
poison
all
up.
this shit. Yeah.
That's where you're going, this is great, this is perfect for my build.
Uh-huh.
But my favorite part is that that character did die.
While he was giving a speech in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And apparently the IP addresses for like when he was grinding that character, he was like hanging out at Trump's place in Florida, and it had a Chinese IP address, which is apparently a thing you could do. They're like just
And he
farms
also
that'll
had-
grind your character for you.
He also had an inventory tab that said Elon's stuff.
Yeah, it's at Elon's Maps, which was just a map of like easy dungeons that you could just do. So like someone was
Has
playing
he
that character.
ever referred to himself in third person?
Yeah, I'm sure he has, but like that's just a dumb thing to do. But
It feels like somebody. It sounds like Elon was like, "Hey, I need you to take this game. I need you to play it. Anything that you think would be good for me, put it aside for me,
Right
in there." And then he did that.
So this is the weirdest. I mean, it's all weird. He's a very weird man. And he
I
has,
understand the masculine urge to be the best at stuff.
Yes.
Right? What I don't get is why would you want to be the number one gamer?
Well, here's more. No, I
hang
get
out-
that. No, I can
No,
get the thing
I
about
hang
wanting
out
to be.
with, top of their field gamers.
Yeah.
A lot. I hang out with people in the field.
Jake's going to
that
be
create gamers
with Top of the Field Gamers next week, so there will be no podcast episode next week. Jake will be at MagFest.
I will be at MagFest next
It's fine.
week.
I think it's supposed to snow anyway.
And then it's the thing is they're all nerds. There's nothing. I don't want their revelry.
Right.
It's nothing cool about it. The cool thing is that they're cool people. It's not that they're great at these games.
Right.
It's fun
Yeah.
when they are.
And there's something to be said, like, because they just did Games Done Quick, and there was one guy that was controlling Mario Wonder with his head while he was playing the soundtrack on piano. And I was like, that's a real freak talent, but that guy's very cool for knowing how to do that.
It's Evo is coming up.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun event. And those are people that are top talents.
Yeah.
We're watching them because they're great at the game. This is a completely different scenario. You know what I mean?
The kicker for it
I know somebody who was held the world record for Quest 64 speedrunning.
that game sucks.
Right? No, it doesn't suck. That's wild.
I don't
thing
like
to say.
RPGs. I thought it was going to be like Zelda. They marketed it to be like Zelda. It was not like Zelda.
It's not
It
like
sucked.
Zelda.
No.
But it's definitely a wild game.
That was I got to rent one game for a weekend from the Blockbuster Video on Manatee Avenue, and I picked Quest 64 thinking it was going to be like Zelda. It was not like Zelda, and it sucked. And we had to rent the 64 console too. So I didn't even have a console down there. Fuck Quest 64.
You didn't do your research.
I was 7 or however
7?
old I was.
I'm sorry.
I was like 10 or 11, however old.
You could read.
Yeah, I could read that it looked like Zelda. Regardless.
Oh, so what I'm saying is he has the world record had the world record because he just loves the game. And like this was a way for him to just push his limits at it, you know, other than just playing it over and over again. That's what a lot of these top 10 players do is they're just loving the game. And that's more fun than meeting somebody being like, you won't see somebody be like, yeah, I'm number 1 in Path of Exile. You're not going to be like, wow, you must be a good gamer. You're going to be like, wow, you love Path of Exile.
Yeah, it's a much more special. But here's the real kicker for it. With the whole group that he's been courting lately, with all the right-wing people and stuff like that, saying that you're in the top 10 in Path of Exile 2, which I'm a video game player, that's niche for me.
Man,
Like,
it's nothing cool.
it's no.
like
It's
being
not that
the
it's not
top
cool. I'm not
football
going to say.
player.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that's not cool. The thing is that
It
the
is
people
cool,
that
yeah.
you're courting or have been courting lately,
They don't know what it
They
means.
don't care, and then the people that would care can tell you're lying immediately.
Yeah.
It'd
Well,
be
the
like
people
if
that don't
I
know-
was like super left wing and I said, I'm the best shot. I could break down and reassemble an AR-15 faster than anybody else.
Yeah.
And then all the left-wing people would be like, we don't care about that. And everyone that knows guns will be like, you're lying
We
and
should
you
make
don't
that-
know how to do
We
that.
should make that video where you're the top 10
Where
assembler.
I just
and
Forrest Gump it.
you could AR-15. No, and then we live stream it and we just see your hands.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, I need to take a sip of water.
But
Your hands go away, and then some other big beefy hands come in and just assemble it really fast.
Just like really jacked forearms with like tattoos.
just going through it.
Skull and
And it's
crossbones.
still your voice being like, this goes right in here.
I don't
for
think
this.
those are Taylor's soft flower covered hands.
Give it thumbs up. Be like, that's a good one.
Nailed it. Thanks, guys.
I'm not happy with that time. You have the world record. You're like, I'm not happy with that time. I can do
It's
a
not
lot
very
better
good.
with
I don't know.
that.
He's a very strange man, and I think it's funny to make fun of him because that's such a fucking
It's
dumb
just
thing to be bad
be
at.
top gamer. Just get out of my freaking hobby, man.
Especially when it's so easy to tell you're full of shit.
It's so easy. Did you heads up somebody?
No.
Oh, I thought you were giving a heads up. To
No,
my
no, no,
cat.
no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's speak. Well, speaking of gaming, let's move into what we're talking about. So you had me watch Noodle,
Yeah,
specifically where he's talking about making an indie game.
I like Noodle a lot.
Yeah.
I think his output is fantastic. This
Mm-hmm.
is the first time where he made like a legitimate documentary.
Yes.
And it was based off of a gaming developer I like called Strange Scaffold.
Uh-huh.
And I was captivated. The whole thing came out. I thought you would like every moment of this, from how funny Noodle is, how great his presentation is, what the interesting subject matter is, and where the subject matter went to.
So essentially, he wanted to do something about making an indie game, and the developer of the game's called Bass Reeves Can't Die,
Yes.
which is about Western folklore, or he's a real person, but
He was talking
Western
to Zaliver
hero, yeah,
about it, and
who is the developer, owner of the studio,
Yeah.
main guy,
and he said, here's the Discord. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just follow along.
yeah.
The whole place.
So you got full unfettered behind the scenes access to
carte
this game.
blanche to the entire creative process.
Yeah.
And you got to listen to every moment of
Yeah.
decision and like straight from the horse's mouth what went into all these decisions for the game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, captivating.
Right. So Noodle's getting a 3.
Hell yeah.
This one was not my favorite because I watched a good bit of Noodle because I always try to do that because I try to go above and beyond for all these people except for the Italians who don't appreciate my copyright. And this one was interesting how he made it. It was fun going back. So his presentation of
Popsicle sticks, people.
yeah, so he does like a cartoon on popsicle sticks and like films that, and I was like, that's kind of cute. But that's not the only thing he did. Like going back, he does like more traditional animation.
Yeah.
But all basically based around video games and that sort of thing. And he's great. One
With
thing,
his video with AI and animation, now I have an eye for it because of that video.
Yeah. he did. I don't want to go too much into that one just because I think if you're interested in this and it's very fun, I don't want to spoil too much of it because it does.
I don't want to spoil it.
It does have a good
I will
plot.
say that I was like, this is really cool looking game.
Yes.
Like, and this is great. I love Strange Scaffold. They made El Paso Nowhere.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed that game. It's a great game. I have my feelings about it. I have notes, my critiques, but it's really good. Everybody should play it. But they also made I Am Your Beast, and that game is awesome. Everybody should play that game. So I was like, oh yeah, let's listen to what they're talking about. It wasn't until the trailer for the game that they were making that I was like, I gotta play this game. This looks amazing.
So the question that I had for you about this before, we won't get too much into the game. It's based around a mechanic from Oblivion.
Yeah.
What is this? So the
Oh,
mechanic is
man.
like the conversation.
Yeah, the conversation wheel. It
Yeah.
is a pretty fun one.
How does that work? Because he didn't really explain. He's like, oh, it's
you
from
got
Oblivion.
a circle?
The whole thing they said about it is like he's making his whole game based around this thing that everyone says sucks.
Yeah. And it didn't suck, but its implementation was pretty useless.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really matter. But you had a persuasion wheel, right? So you could press a button to persuade any NPC, and you would have a 4-section circle come down, and it will have like coerce, joke, gossip, and persuade on it, with a big wedge to small, 4 wedges.
Right.
And it's randomized, and you can spin it, and you can hover over which one you want to do and look at their face to see what they would do.
Ugh.
So if they would like it, they would have a big smile on their face. If there's persuade,
Sounds like the worst.
it's so funny.
Sounds like the worst. I hated that Rockstar game, L.A. Noire.
I love
where
that
it's just
LA
like
Noire.
doubting people and shit like that.
That
I
game was
hated
so
that
funny.
so much.
There's really good faces in that game.
I understand. It's fucking dude from Mad Men, but it's not a great, like, it doesn't seem like a fun game.
It should have been an open world game, but it was a very fun game.
No, I'm talking about the Bass Reeves. It seemed like making of it was good. I don't think I would have
Strange
liked
Scaffold makes games for like $12 that come out very interesting every single time.
Yeah.
El Paso Nowhere is a great example of a game that it plays like Max Payne, but it doesn't really play to Max Payne's style of strength. What comes through is its awesome style and wonderful performances and a cool story. You're trying to kill Dracula, who's your girlfriend in this.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, regardless, I really like Noodle's documentary. I don't think I would have played that game if it came out. Like, it just doesn't seem like my sort of thing.
I loved it.
I'm
I
sure
definitely would have played it.
I'm sure you would have. But
Yeah.
everyone should go check that out. I had
It was very fun.
When I noticed I really liked this guy's style of video making, which is something I've been working on in my spare time. Is so he does the popsicle stick with a cartoon character and kind of bops it around, and that's like the person talking, and then he'll swap it out for like a screaming guy, whatever. He's talking to one of the devs of the game, and he talks to all of them, but he'll have like a little avatar for that person, and it's inside of a little cardboard like computer monitor that he made. And it's a cute way of doing it.
Yeah.
But then he talked to one guy, and the guy's name was Sean. And I don't know what happened, but Sean just had a noticeably shittier microphone than everyone else. And so that little square where Sean's avatar was lower res than everyone else's. And he doesn't like draw attention to it. Like, he doesn't point it out and be like,
Here's
hey,
a good joke.
Like someone that was really, as someone that makes stuff, and when I'm really proud of a joke, I have a bad habit of hanging a lantern on it. One of my
Yeah.
things, I'm like, hey, look what
Everybody does.
look what I did.
horrid.
So that's just a really clever thing. And he could have said like, Sean looks like that because his microphone was
Yeah.
bad, but he didn't, and he never brings it up. But then I was like, is it my computer? Like, because I was streaming it through my PlayStation. And I was like, oh, am I lagging? And I'm like, no, the rest of it's... I'm like, that's just fucking...
It's just having a good
A
time.
little
He's
touch
very
like
funny
that.
guy.
It's so good. And he did a...
My favorite part is one of the developers working on the game had to leave because he got an actual job at an actual game developer.
That's dismissive. He got a different job from a bigger
He got
developer.
an actual job from an actual developer.
Because the rest of this was bullshit.
And then later in the thing, he just comes back going, I just got laid off. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
He was so excited to come back and work on the game.
So it was fun hearing him talk about... He had 2 videos on Halo. One about Halo, just Halo, and then one about the Halo remaster.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which is fun because he's noticeably younger than me, and it's kind of cool to see this. Like, I don't know, his whole premise at the end of that was just like, if you guys haven't played Halo, you need to go back and play Halo. And just our generation, like guys in their mid to late 30s, were just like, who the fuck didn't play Halo? Everybody played Halo.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's just kind of weird seeing that younger generation.
I liked how it was like, people should really appreciate the architecture and everything that there was going on into the art direction of Halo.
Yeah.
I like his art approach to video games.
The way he makes stuff is great. He's a great.
You watched the Motorstorm video?
I watched the Need for Speed one, which was interesting as hell because I love Need for Speed Underground.
yeah.
That was one of my favorite games. Because in Need for Speed Underground, you could get a Mazda RX-7. And I don't know if you remember this, but I used to drive a Mazda RX-7.
Oh, I remember.
Back when it was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah.
Of course, the one in Need for Speed was the 3rd gen. I was a 1st gen.
Yeah, there you go.
And sometimes the passenger door wouldn't open, but it had a manual windows so you can get in like Dukes of Hazzard. The car was fucking awesome.
That's cool.
My favorite video that he makes on his channel was he does one about another thing that we're just slightly too old for. His generation, and I will say people probably about 10 years younger than us, have a much, much stronger affection towards SpongeBob SquarePants than I do.
I like SpongeBob. Yeah.
No, but
I
some
hear what
people
you're saying.
fucking love like the memes that kids in their 20s put out. Like half of them are SpongeBob.
Yeah.
But he does one about SpongeBob and Ween, which is just so fucking good.
And how I haven't watched that one yet, but I love
dude,
Ween.
That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
Is SpongeBob and Ween.
His Motor Store one, I think, is one of the funniest.
I'll have to check that out when I get back. But yeah, I've watched. He's. We didn't talk about it, but fucking Folding Ideas has a new one out.
Oh yeah,
and
That's
he's
true.
So Noodle's up there with Folding Ideas. He's on my
There
YouTube
you go.
thing.
Nice.
And also Bobby Fingers has a new one out that we haven't talked about.
I
yet.
watched Bobby Fingers.
Friend of the show, Bobby
He is
Fingers.
still probably my favorite YouTuber.
Did you listen to Bobby Fingers podcast, the Dirt Finger podcast?
No, I haven't listened to it yet.
It's fucking great.
I just like the part in the thing where he's like, "Do you think we're not being hired for our?" His friend's like, "Just say it."
But
We're close to Austin, Texas. Is all I'm saying is we could go and get that Joe Rogan thing.
no,
Probably not anymore.
Someone's probably already found it. I haven't checked his Patreon, but I'm sure someone's already found it. But yeah, his newest one was it's probably the most meta thing he's done, which is he made a diorama of the moment from the Joe Rogan podcast where the drummer from the Black Keys forgot Bobby Fingers' name, which was just fucking genius.
We follow him, so we knew that he lost all the footage.
Yeah, I remember
stuff.
texting you about that when it showed up on his Patreon.
And we were like, "Oh man, that's
He's one of like 4 Patreons that I have now.
Yeah, because it's like that's really going to slow him down.
Yeah,
and then you also learn that he broke his ankle with it, and you're like, "Oh wow, that's horrible." And then because he's a genius, he was like, "I just did it again."
Well, as someone that's run into that sort of thing before, where you have a project and you're like, it gets to a point where trying to recover is more effort than starting over.
Yeah.
So eventually you just have to be like, fuck it, we'll do it again.
You have a great review of being like, because I did it twice.
Yeah.
And then being like, I'll auction this one off for health
It's fucking great.
bills.
Love Bobby Fingers.
If I could, buddy, I would have bought that bad boy.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
But that was, again, an incredible video from Bobby Fingers.
Yeah,
Every
and
time.
the Folding Ideas, it's called Man Tracks. Like, God damn it. Dan Olson's just so great.
Definitely want to visit that town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Man Tracks, essentially the story behind it is there's a town in Texas where it's like a riverbed and they have dinosaur tracks there, and there's also a creationist museum there where
They're
like,
saying that men walked with dinosaurs.
and it's a bunch of like charlatans that like carve a footprint on top of a dinosaur print,
Yeah.
and then they're like, see, humans and dinosaurs walk together.
Yeah. And then this guy buys them.
Right. And so it's like this weird economy of people knowingly faking stuff and people that can't admit that they know it's fake having to pay for the fake things.
Yeah.
It's
Very
kind of funny,
sad.
but it's great.
But it's a good episode.
So yeah,
Good video.
shout out Noodle. Noodle gets a 3.
yeah.
Shout out Dan Olson and Bobby Fingers and all the other amazing people. Shout out to Up Your Alley podcast and his thing about landman and lobbyist. That's also very good. Yeah, 3,000 views in the first week.
Holy cow.
Not as good as the Shoresy one, but better than the Elden Ring one and the.
Shore's coming back next month.
Oh, you didn't hear the news about Shoresy?
He's dead?
No.
Oh, thank God.
But even before season 4 premieres, renewed for season 5.
Oh, yeah.
Crave
Good.
saw it and they're like, "Good, you're back for season 5."
That should be it, though, right? That should
No,
be
it should be
wrap
6.
up.
Because it said End of Shoresy Part 1 was season 3.
Yeah.
So you should go
Oh.
to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about Shoresy when that comes out.
I'll watch Shoresy.
For sure. And
love
play
that
Shoresy,
show.
the Shoresy game that'll be coming out too.
I will play Shoresy. It looks
right.
like arcade hockey. That's always good.
Let's talk about my recommendation for Jake, the film Nightbitch.
That's true.
Based on the novel of the same name by Rachel Yoder. So
Yes.
I mentioned this last week when I... you're pulling up the thing on the TV. I mentioned this last week when I recommended it. Nightbitch was recommended from a couple different podcasts that I listened to. I read the book, really liked it, knew the movie was coming out, was going to make Jake read the book. Decided to wait until this comes out. So Oscar nominations still haven't happened as of recording because Los Angeles was on fire for a week.
You want to give this movie Oscar nods?
I think there's a case for Amy Adams for Best Actress
Okay.
and maybe Best Adapted Screenplay. She got Golden Globe nominations for it too, so it definitely has some Oscar buzz. So yeah, essentially, Amy Adams plays an unnamed mother who has a young son and has a
Yeah, nobody was named in this, were they?
no, not the mother, father, or the son, and they aren't in the book either. Her friends are,
Yeah.
but
It's called like Baby and stuff.
yeah. So
There we go.
you got it.
I'm coming along.
All right. So, and she is kind of going through mental stuff, and she starts maybe turning into a dog, maybe just thinking she turns into a dog. The book is a lot more explicit. But Jake, what'd you think of this movie?
So is the book a lot more explicit as being she turns into a dog?
So the book has a different ending, which I'll get into. I think
I don't think you should, because I would like to read it.
So I will say this: the book is two parallels to this. I think this movie's great in the way that it differs from the book. Very similar to how I feel about Fight Club. Like Fight Club, the book is very different than Fight Club, the movie, but both of them are good from like the same kind of nexus. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like Fight Club, the book doesn't end with the narrator popping up and say, "Hey, you met me at a weird time in my life." It ends with him just shooting himself in the head, and then everything's still going on.
Oh.
Like there's no like, "Hey, everything might be okay at the end of this." Fight Club, the book ends very darkly. This one ends. The main difference, I would say, between the book and the movie is the characterization of the husband. The husband in this kind of has an arc. In the book, he's barely in it. Like he's literally just in and out, like not even there. I was kind of intrigued how they did that, because I think it makes it narratively a lot better, because it points out something that they can talk about in the book, but you really need to show on the screen of a character doing it, which is one of the biggest plot things of this, and something I've talked about in therapy, which is weaponized ignorance, which the husband does a lot, which is just like, "Oh, I can't do this. You're much better at this than me," and how it could wear on another person a lot. But yeah, what'd you think of Nightbitch?
I would say ultimately I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything great.
Yeah.
Amy Adams is definitely the best part of the entire movie.
Well, she's the main star, yeah.
She's just a fantastic star. She's
great.
She's a star. She's one of the best actors, I swear. So it was really good to see her. I thought it was kind of confusing a little bit and then meandering at some points, but there's really good parts in it that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I loved everything with her and her friends, both her artsy friends and her mother friends.
Right. So Amy Adams' character,
It's very, very, very on the nose.
Yes.
It takes no pretense and it has no subtext. It tells you this stuff is just happening and it is representative of motherhood.
right. So yeah, it's not as much of a parable as other things have been. So Amy Adams' character in this, she has a kid. Kid's probably like 3.
They even say the name Nightbitch.
Yeah, they do in the book.
You were a bitch last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a real night bitch.
Yeah.
It felt like if it...
I will say this: that has a lot more credence in the book, and I'm not.
This is what I'm saying
I'm not defending. I'm not trying to defend this movie by saying the book's better. I think they're both good in this. Here's why I really enjoyed this. So one, something I don't know anything about is motherhood. Obviously, like
I know
I've
everything
got
about it. So
oh, good.
This
I forgot.
Yeah, this is just retreading for me. Mostly.
This is old hat for you. This whole like nuanced examination of modern motherhood.
Yeah, I understand powerful women,
but which is something they love hearing. So Amy Adams' character used to be an artist, and then she has a kid, and then becomes a stay-at-home mom. And this is kind of about her getting. I don't want to say getting her groove back, but I will. But getting like back
finding
into that.
An actual routine.
Well, also finding
how much you give up of yourself and what do you give up when you become a mother.
Right.
And what does that actually sacrifice when you're raising your child?
Exactly.
When she thinks about her mother, she doesn't remember who her mother is other than what her mom did for her.
Right.
And then she starts getting memories. Oh, yes, she was also like me. She was also an artist. She was also expressive.
Yeah.
And she was like, I didn't get to see that a lot because she gave all that up for me. And she kind of has that type of feeling for it. There's really cool stuff in this movie. I just thought it was
There's the one
fine.
scene of body horror, which I was like right at my edge.
That was the one that I was like, that's the part he's talking about.
See, yeah.
It was when she had a period. You're like, gross.
No.
You're like uber.
It was when the tail was growing out of her back.
Gross.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
But, so I thought you would like this one because it's a little bit off kilter.
I do like it.
It reminded me of, what was the Jake Gyllenhaal's a spider movie that we watched? Enemy.
Yeah, Enemy is great.
Kind of reminded me of Enemy.
It was just...
It's very cerebral.
Yeah, but it does not pretend like it's trying to be cerebral. and it's just like
it's a lot more in your face. But I think that's kind of the point.
She is a dog, but she's turned into a dog, but it's a metaphor.
Right.
All they needed was for Amy Adams to go on the narration. It'd be like, I'm not really a wolf, but this is what I feel like.
Right.
Needs to release.
So they did change a lot of the stuff from the book for this.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying I'm very interested in reading the book.
You should. It's on, if you want to listen to it, it's on Spotify as well.
I enjoyed the movie for what it did, especially because Amy Adams just brings, and Jessica Harper, they both brought a lot to their characters that made me just really enjoy who they were.
And Zoe Chow's great in this too. Zoe Chow is she's in
The After Party.
Yeah, she's also in Creature Commandos.
Oh yeah,
she's the voice of Nina on Creature Commandos.
Oh wow,
the fish lady.
Cool.
Yeah, she's popping up a lot. I like Zoe Chow.
Good, me too.
I think the kids were great.
Yeah,
like the little boy, played by twins again because apparently that's just the thing you do.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah.
You know
like
why.
the Olsons did it. Well, because you can only have the kid for like 45 minutes at a time.
Yeah, you can only use them for a certain amount of hours.
So what you do is you
twins,
permanently scar two children by making two children have to work.
You just scar one of them.
Yeah.
And you just tell them that one never existed.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah, exactly. Hollywood's fun.
I thought Scoot McNairy, his name's Scoot.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
So
I like that story. I like that type of...
He has no development in the book.
But I appreciate this type of raw type of confrontation.
Yeah.
Where it's emotions attacking each other.
There's a good bit of catharsis when she actually kind of lets out, like, she's like, no, this is what I'm thinking. You're like this. And I thought that sort of thing usually resonates with you. We're like, good.
It's
Stop
really good
stop
stuff.
taking people's shit and just say what you...
Well, she gets really mad and she starts attacking him.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that makes him try and process it, but he also gets mad and attacks her.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're like, I think we need a separation after a while.
That's a great scene. And he's such a shithead in that scene, too.
Well, they're both being a shithead because she has just more credence to being a shithead. You know, because we've been with her. If we followed his story, we'd be like, I just came home to my bitch. What? I was listening to Joe Rogan on my way home, and I was just pumped up, ready to listen to... But
I was ready to boot up Diablo 4, see if I can be better than Elon Musk.
And then I just like the way that they were like... She was like, I think we just need to separate for a little while. Yeah. And he was like, I will do what I can for you. He develops as well as her, and then they both come together to be like... I could see where... I didn't communicate well, and he's like, and I can see where I shut down and I didn't help.
Right.
And I was like, this is great communication. This stuff feels really well. I appreciate when somebody puts something in there like that, where instead of like we lived happily ever after, it's like, no, we compromised, we sacrificed, and we understood, and we suffered together, and then we found something that makes us both heal.
Right.
I was like, that's good.
And I think one of the reasons I resonate to is obviously I can sympathize with the motherhood thing and like growing up and having to get rid of parts of yourself so you can, be something for someone else, and like that completely makes sense. But what I think this movie, and you touched on this briefly, kind of focuses on more is there's a good way of like her character just trying to express herself and then feeling like you can't because you feel like there's the balancing act of, should I express myself and do good things for me, or should I just keep doing what this person's doing? And the way that they have that big blow up argument scene where he's just like completely wrong and in her mind, and he has his side that, like you said, we don't get to see that side. I really just thought it was kind of fun the way they shot it. I think the scenes between Amy Adams and the kid are great.
I thought it was pretty annoying sometimes the way they shot it.
Really?
Because it was just...
I thought it was a beautiful movie.
It does the psych out thing where it's like, this is what I would really wish I could do.
They do that twice. I know you hate that.
They do it more than twice. They do it a bunch of times. Twice. They do it one part where she's sitting down. It's like, please tell me all your secrets while she's yelling from the cafeteria thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, that one was kind of good. But that stuff... just doesn't really work for me that well.
That's fine.
And like I said, with the friends, with the mothers especially, I think, I don't know, it reminds me of my mom,
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really well done is my mom feels like she sacrificed a lot.
Well, all moms
because
do.
she did, exactly, right?
Yeah.
but to show a little bit of yourself, that's not a bad thing at all. Or to want to be who you were, or just explore your own personal feelings more. It's a worthy goal. It's a beautiful goal, and it's just that's cool stuff to see. And I think it was really fun. How they did it was Amy Adams just says, "Yeah, I killed a cat and I feel bad," and the other girls are like, "I just let the bird go
because I didn't want to deal with the bird anymore."
He's like, "I killed my pet goldfish, not because I forgot to feed it. It's like I just did not want to clean the bowl." And it's like, this is good. This is good.
Everyone has something like that in their life. Like, not, obviously killing an animal, but something just like that didn't happen just because I was like, I just didn't want to fucking do that anymore.
And it's just
I harbored this guilt, and I'm just like, no, I just didn't fucking do it.
No, you're a lot more like us than you think.
Exactly.
That stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like wonderful. That stuff's really cool.
I think Amy Adams gets a Best Actress nomination. The other thing is, a lot of these movies that are nominated for stuff with like Golden Globes and like BAFTA awards, I'm like, I haven't heard of half of these fucking movies.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. I remember you talking last week where you're like, I guess I just like things now. And I was like, well, go back and watch Anatomy of a Fall again, buddy.
I know.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good movie. That was up for Best Picture, buddy.
I understand, but I watched it.
Sandra Hüller did a fantastic performance.
I have legitimate gripes with Anatomy of a Fall.
As to why not. Because it is Best Picture nominated.
That movie does a cover of the song PIMP as a sincere plot point. That in and of itself makes it a bad movie.
Funny? Oh.
No.
Bad movie.
That movie sucked so hard.
Oh, Mr. My heart's open now. Can we watch Acolyte?
Acolyte? The Star Wars thing?
Yeah.
I watched all of Acolyte.
Yeah, you loved it, didn't you?
It was not that great.
You loved it so much.
No, it wasn't that great. Storytelling was great.
Can you put Star Wars as Best Picture again? That's what you were saying while you were watching it.
No. First of all, it wouldn't be Best Picture because it was a show. Secondly, Acolyte was good. I really liked...
Can we make shows Best Picture?
I liked Mr. Good Place as a weird Sith Lord. It was good. Also, Darth Plagueis shows up in the Acolyte. Like, that's why Skeleton Crew was good. It didn't have a Darth Plagueis moment. So in the last episode of the Acolyte, you know who Darth Plagueis is?
Yeah, he's the guy who came into the Force to make a baby.
No.
Yeah.
He's the one that learned how to break away from death through the Force. Darth Plagueis the Wise.
He came into the Force, made Anakin.
Don't say it like that. It's weird when you say it like that.
Well, that's what happened.
That's not what happened.
I read Star Wars. I've read at least... I want to say 15 books about it, and all of them agree with me.
You're completely wrong about that.
Take it up with your Star Wars fans, buddy. Wasn't me that said it.
No, they're very bifurcated and angry about everything.
Don't shoot the messenger, buddy.
I'm going to make you watch so much Andor. It's not even fucking funny.
I can't wait. I actually do.
All right.
I hear it's really good.
So what do you give Nightbitch? You giving it a 2?
2.
You giving it a 2?
Give it a 2.
That's solid. I'll take a 2.
I thought it was a fine movie.
I think it's worth checking out. It's on Hulu. It's a good movie. It's an hour and a half. It's way better than Anatomy of a Fall. So
man, I was thinking about that movie a lot after I thought about what you said. Where you're like, I like movies now, and I was like, I
was thinking about how much I relate to that movie because when I think about it, I want to throw myself out of a window.
Love that
movie is so fucking bad.
The movie's great
and boring.
Loved it.
And French.
And it's just like, pretty sure. Is it French? Yeah, a French director. Yeah.
I don't give it. No, it just it exudes French.
It was
like it just gives off. It's giving French.
Oh, I know what I want you to watch now.
All right, well, that's what we're time for. So thank you, everybody, for listening for the show. If you want to get in touch with us, you can, upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Again, Jake's going to be at MagFest next week, so we won't have an episode. If you're at MagFest, find Jake. Say hi.
Yeah, good luck.
Tell him that Anatomy of a Fall sucks.
Good luck finding me in my furry costume.
He's going to be the one dressed up like the Acolyte.
I want to be the Acolyte. I want to be like, I'm Darth Plagueis.
The Wise.
I'm Darth Plagueis. I want to have a toothbrush with me, call myself Darth Plagueis.
That's actually a pretty good idea. If you had a,
it's horrible.
If you had a toothbrush instead of a lightsaber and you were Darth Plagueis.
Toothbraber? No, that's bad.
No, Darth Plagueis. You hit
I'll try to make Tooth Saber. That's better.
Tooth Saber?
Yeah. Instead of a toothbrush?
Right, but if you're
a lightsaber?
If you're Darth Plagueis, that'd be good. With a tooth saber.
But then everybody would laugh at me because they're like,
that's great.
You're not.
And then they're going to lift you up on their shoulders and cheer you out of MagFest and say he's
Acolyte.
They're going to say he's won. He's won the convention, everybody. Get in touch with the show, upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Let's thank you to Brother Bill for letting us use their music for a theme song. Let's figure out what we're going to be talking about next week. Jake, what do you got next week?
In honor of our dearly departed, you were going to watch another David Lynch film.
Okay.
It is called The Straight Story.
I have no idea what that is.
I think it's on Disney Plus. I can't remember. I do have it on DVD so that you can watch it.
I'll find it.
It is a movie based on a true story.
A straight story.
And it's about a guy, an old man, who hears that his brother, who's like halfway across the country, is terminally ill. And the old man can't drive. All he can do is ride a lawnmower. So he takes his lawnmower and he starts driving across the country.
Oh, I remember when this came out, but I never watched it. Yes, it is on Disney Plus.
I think this is a poignant time to watch that movie.
Okay. I remember when this came out. Yeah.
If you're going to like any David Lynch movie, it's going to be this one.
Should be.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well, I will definitely check that out. Jake, you already know what you're going to watch because I told you about it. Because it is a 6-part series on Netflix, and now it's even better because you have an extra week to watch it all, so you have no fucking excuses. It is a new Netflix 6-part series, American Primeval.
Here's a good excuse. I don't want to.
No, Jacob, I have to tell you, this fucking rules.
After the first one?
After what?
After I watch the first episode, I'm going to be like, give me more?
Yes, absolutely. You're going to be hooked. Trust me. It's 6 episodes. They're all like 45 minutes long. So it's like 5 hours all in.
Right.
Trust me. It's got, who is it? Taylor Kittredge. It's got Jai Courtney. It's got Dane DeHaan. And it's set in the Utah Territory.
You haven't said a name I know.
In 1850. Betty Gilpin.
Oh, no.
Jai Courtney. You know Jai Courtney. Jai Courtney was Captain Boomerang. He's Australian.
I haven't watched Suicide Squad.
Whatever. It fucking rules. So it's set in 1857, which is the outbreak of the Mormon War. Are you familiar with the Mormon War?
I'm familiar with Mormons.
Right.
I'm familiar with war.
Okay. Smash them together. So what happened in 1857 in the Utah Territory is Brigham Young has declared himself, he is the governor of Utah.
Oh, yes.
But he's trying to kick everyone.
All about that.
He's trying to stop the natives from living in Utah because he hates them because they're not Christian or they're not Mormon. And the U.S. Army's out there. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, you kicked us out of our land because you said we couldn't be all Mormon and shit. Like, well, now we're coming to Utah and don't be Mormon and shit. And so there's a fucking war and there's like Mormon military and shit like that. And it's so the way I want you to think about it and what dawned on me in the first episode is it's a big Western epic. It's shot like a horror movie. Like it's a lot of weird, like what's the Dutch angle? Mm-hmm. And a lot of close-up, a lot of gore, shit like that. So it's like, it's not shot like a Horizon, where it's like big landscapes and everything. It's a very close-up shots, very personal stories. You're going to fucking love it.
I think Sherlock Holmes touched on this with The Red Room, the Mormon Wars. Yes.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a deep pull if that's a real thing.
The murderer
was a Mormon?
Was in Utah.
Oh,
during
in Utah,
this, I believe.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this movie fucking rules. It's great, or not movie, but it's a show.
I'm interested.
It's written and directed by the same guy that did The Revenant.
So
it's definitely got Revenant vibes.
That Rebel Ridge is fantastic.
Rebel Ridge fucking ruled.
I wish that thing came out in theaters, real bad.
Yeah.
That movie. I'm very happy that guy's going to be Jon Stewart. Did we talk about that?
Uh-huh.
Because
he was also Mufasa in New Mufasa.
When was Simba?
Yeah. No.
Hello.
Simba was Childish Gambino still.
Hello, Simba.
All right, we're running out of steam. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Watch The Straight Story. I'm going to watch it, and Jake's going to watch American Primeval. We're off next week. We'll be back the week after that. Jake, thanks for having me over, buddy. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Drop out yet?